everybody, this is Artisan Loom here, and I am going to teach you how to make candy bar fudge. It tastes just like Snicker bars. It's so awesome. It's one of my favorites. It's not hard to make. We're going to use a microwave this time. Nothing on the stove. Be all microwave, so it's super simple. So I will give you a list of ingredients that you will need, and go ahead and gather them. Let's start off with two big bowls or medium-sized bowls, and then I'm going to go through the ingredients with you. What we're going to need first is we're going to need a half a cup of butter, which I just go ahead and use the salted because that's just, I do everything with salted butter for whatever reason, but it's 1 stick of butter, which is a half of a cup. And then we're going to need 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa, just like this. We're going to need 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar, which actually I've got all my packed brown sugar in my container here. And we're going to need milk, 1/4 cup, 3½ cups confectioner's sugar. So this is confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar. We will need that. We will need vanilla. Pure vanilla extract. That will be what we will be needing. I don't use the imitation. I just go straight for the pure. We're going to need water, which is 1 tablespoon. We're going to need, I bought the Kraft Caramels, okay, which are the individually wrapped. We're going to need those, and we're going to have to unwrap them. So you need about 30 of them approximately. Okay. Also going to need 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, which I had left over from when I made my Buckeyes. And then you also need milk chocolate chips as well. And you're also going to need 2 cups of salted peanuts. Let me grab that for you. The cocktail peanuts, that's the one you want. They're salted, but they don't have the, the skin on them. So they need to be cocktail peanuts. That will taste the best. Okay, so go ahead and get your 2 bowls together. Actually, I'm going to use these 2 bowls, so about this size. And I'm going to use glass. It tends to do better with melting the stuff. And go ahead and get that started, and we will come back and go ahead and add the ingredients. What we're going to need to do first is we need an 8 by 8 inch baking sheet, and I'm going to use just a metal one. And we want to go ahead and take some butter that I had put on, I don't know if you can see that, on the paper towel, and I'm just going to grease it, okay? You want to get all the sides so that when we go to take it out, it's not going to stick. Obviously, that would be the reason, and that's the smartest thing to do. Can't tell you how many things I've made to where they've stuck because of my stupidity. Okay, so I've got it nice and buttered. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is in this bowl. I'll just set this over here. In this bowl, we are going to go ahead and, it's a microwave safe bowl, so that's what it needs to be. Don't use metal, obviously. We're going to combine the butter, which is going to be your 1 stick. Okay, so 1 stick of butter. Okay, and we need the cocoa powder right here. Nestle's cocoa powder or Hershey's. And we're going to need 1/3 cup. So I'm going to go ahead and grab 1/3 cup. And if I don't make too big of a mess, I'm going to try to measure this out. You could use a trusty little knife to scooch across it, but I'm gonna wing it. Okay, 1/3 cup. Yep, making music, people, making music. Okay, so now we have the cocoa, and that's 1/3 cup. And then we also need brown sugar. So we need 1/4 cup of the brown sugar. So, and it needs to be packed brown sugar. So I'm going to pack it, scoop it, there we go, and dump that in, okay? Now that I've got stuff all over my hands, I'm going to go off and wash them so that I can work, people. I'm going to go ahead and use the same measuring spoon since it's all the same ingredients. And what we're going to need is 1/4 of a cup of milk. This is just 1%, but you can use whatever. So just add all that into the bowl, okay? I guess I can just set this aside for the moment, or maybe put it over here so it's not in my way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to take it just like it is, and we're going to open our trusty little microwave, and we're going to put it in the microwave, which I think you know what a microwave looks like. In the microwave, close it, and we're going to do it for, excuse me, I'm trying to use this tripod. Okay, so we want to put it on, cook it on high for about 3 minutes until it boils, and it usually is around 3 minutes. So I'm going to set it for 3 minutes. Okay, so now mine is done. I'm going to use a trusty little oven mitt to pull mine out because the glass is going to be insanely hot. So I'm just going to pull it out. And so that is what it looks like. You can tell that it's boiling a bit. Okay. Let me close my microwave. And what I'm going to do is just stir it up real good. Okay. Just give it a good stir. Get all those pieces incorporated. Hopefully it's all melted. Just going to stir it up real good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir in the confectioner's sugar. So this is my powdered sugar that I've now put into this one here. And we need 3½ cups of confectioner's sugar. So I'm just going to take 3½ cups. Here's my 1/2 cup. Where did my full cup go? Oh. And I need 3 more, okay? Super simple. All right, maybe I want to make sure that it's about even measured out correctly. 2. Boy, I'm making sprinkles all over my, making snow all over my oven, my stove. So that's 3 cups. Look at that, snow! It's snowing, it's snowing. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. So basically, you are going to stir this in along with the vanilla. So I'm going to throw my vanilla in there. You need 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Okay, just pour that in. And then just stir it in. Stir it all together. Okay. Now this confectioner sugar or powdered sugar is total powder. You might want to smash it down a little bit first so you don't make such a big mess like I'm making. But that's okay because when I go off camera I'm going to clean my workspace. I am not one that can stand a bunch of junk in my spot. But I'm just going to smash it down a little bit to get it incorporated. Okay? And it's going to be really thick, okay? So don't be afraid. Just smash it down real good. I'm not even stirring it at this point. And then go around the bowl, okay? And just till it gets all incorporated. It's really stiff, so you need a really good spatula or a spoon or something. Probably should have used a metal spoon or something. I think I would have a better time of it, but that's what you're going to do. Okay. Get it all nice and incorporated. And then I'll show you what it looks like. What it looks like that. It's nice and stiff, but it's like a fudge. Hence the word candy bar fudge. So Then at this point, it's not going to pour out. You're just going to plop it, basically, into the pan like that. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Looks really yummy and appetizing. It looks like something that comes out of a dog at this point, but I can assure you it's not. It's very, very good. And you're just going to use your spoon. I'd use a metal spoon and just smash it till it gets in all the corners. Just kind of try to keep it as even as possible. Okay. Wasn't trying to gross you out with that little visual, but so it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm a little more perfect than most, I think, or I have a problem with being a perfectionist. So who's going to see that anyway? There's going to be all kinds of stuff in there. So why am I trying to make this beautiful? I don't know. Anyhow, you want it to look like that. Just smash it down into all sides of the pan. Okay, so now we need a separate bowl, a nice separate clean bowl, and we're going to need our caramels, and we're going to need our tablespoon of water. I've already put the water in here because I don't know if you can see it sloshing about in there. But I am already at the stove. My sink's way over there, so I went ahead and put in a tablespoon of water. So get your water put in there, and then what we're going to need to do, this is the part that is so much fun, is we've got to unwrap all of these caramels. So we need to count out 30 of them, and I'll count them out in just a minute. And I'm going to go off camera and unwrap these. We have to unwrap them. You got to make sure you get every piece, that you don't leave any of the plastic wrap on them, obviously. Okay? And you need 30 of them. When you get done, drop it in the water. And that's all we're going to do, is just unwrap caramels. I think it's going to be the most fun out of the whole thing to do. Just love unwrapping stuff and sorting things. Okay, so unwrap 30 caramels, put it in with your water, and then we are going to heat the caramels in the water on high in a microwave for 2 minutes. Okay, I'll be right back. I've unwrapped them all, putting them in the microwave for approximately 2 minutes, and that will bring it to a boil and melt them all. In the meantime, you need to get a bowl. I don't know if you can see this. It's really bright. Just need a small enough bowl. Okay, and what we're going to do is go ahead, while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and get my semi-sweet chocolate chips. We need a half of a cup. And I don't always measure this, you know that. It's chocolate, for crying out loud. That's a half cup, but I'm probably going to add a few more because I can. Because I can, that's why. Sometimes I run a little low and do half a cup of the milk chocolate chips as well. And I'm going to add a few more to that chip. Okay? And we'll wait on this to finish microwaving, and then we are going to microwave this bowl of chocolate chips for about a minute. And then stir it. You don't want to burn these, so a minute is all you need. And they might look like they haven't been cooked, but or melted, but as soon as you put a spoon through it, it'll be melted. And if not, you can add it in intervals of like 10-15 seconds. So the caramels should be nice and melted. The bowl's not insanely hot, so I'm not going to worry about, but you can tell that it's boiling. Okay, so you're going to take that. And at this point, this is the time when you're wanting to hold off on the chocolate chips. I just set them aside. I didn't microwave them yet. But once you take this out, you can stir it up real good. Makes a sizzling sound. It's all melted. And what we're going to do while it's melted is I'm going to probably get a better spoon than what I have. Let me grab a better spoon. And we're going to go ahead and get our 2 cups of salted peanuts in here. So about 2 cups, approximately. Okay, and just dump them in there, and we're going to stir it up. Okay, and you know what, I'm going to switch over to a different spoon because I know it's going to get thick. So that's what I'm going to do. Switch over, do the old switcheroo. Okay, and just stir it together. There'll be that nice saltiness in with the caramel. Oh yeah. See how sticky it's becoming? Just want to make sure you coat all of it. So make sure you get all off the bottom and coat all the peanuts. Okay, because a lot of times on the bottom there'll be a lot of caramel still left on the bottom. Just make sure you get it all. Okay? So that's what we're going for. Right like that. Okay? So at this point we're going to go ahead and let's see here, and spread over the mixture. Now I realize that this is a sticky mixture, so what we're going to do is I'll probably end up using this spatula that I started with, and I'm just going to scoop little bits in little sections, okay, to try to cover it, because I don't want to smear it because it's going to disrupt the whole bottom layer. Okay, see that? And then I can somewhat until you cover the whole thing. So just don't clump too much in one spot, but it is going to be thick, so I'll warn you. And then once you can, it may allow you to somewhat smooth it out. You don't want to press too much because you'll disrupt the chocolate. So I'm going to go off camera. Try to get as thin of a layer as you can, but use all of your mixture, okay? Or just make sure it's all covered, and then you can go back and add more if you need to, okay? So I will be back and show you what mine looks like. This is what I was going for. Just like that. Just covered it right up, okay? Now I'm going to take my mixture of chocolate chips. Put it in the microwave. It says to do it on high for 1 minute, so I'm going to do that. And then we're going to spread the chocolate mixture. That's why I like to use a nice thin spatula. We're going to spread the chocolate mixture over this, and then we'll just have to chill it. And then it says to chill for 2 hours until firm. Once it's chilled, you take it out of the refrigerator for a couple minutes, you know, for a few minutes, like 15 minutes, and then you can cut it. But if it's too cold when you go to cut it, the top part will crack. So we got to make sure it's not quite ice cold, but not a melted mess. So, okay, we got about 14 seconds left. That was some good stuff. Some good stuff. Okay, so now 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, my last microwave did it 5 times. So, you see what I'm saying? Doesn't look like it's melted, but it totally is. See that? Totally is, without burning it. Just get it nice and incorporated. There you go, see? Look at that. Pretty neat. I think one time I just cooked it so much. Just going to smush it down to get all the lumps incorporated, because it's hot enough to melt them. I just want to give it a little bit of a helping hand. But I think I thought that they weren't melted, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I kept microwaving it, and it came out like a hard ball. It was nasty. Okay, anyhow, I've got it basically, well, let me just make sure that all the lumps are out of it. I've got a couple that are still in there, but for the most part it's creamy. Okay, see that? Now we're just going to take it and we're going to pour it on top. And I'm going to do it a little bit over each one because that way I can spread it easier that way. You know what I mean. Just kind of put it in spots so it's not all clumped in the center. Get a nice spatula and be able to clean the bowl out really good. Okay. Just like so. And we're just going to take it and we're going to smear it. And get it as good as you can to cover all the peanuts, okay? You want to cover it all. That's why I say it's good to spread it throughout instead of just in one clump, because it goes down into the crevices. Okay, it's easier to spread it. Okay? And sometimes I use a little bit more of the chocolate chips. If I can't find to get a good cover, I will melt more chocolate chips and add more chocolate just to give it a good cover. I think I had some extra over on this side. So I think I've basically got it all down pat, as good as it's going to get with the chocolate. Okay. That's what we're going for. Okay. So this is the candy bar fudge recipe. All you're going to do is put it in the refrigerator. I wouldn't put it in with aluminum foil because you don't want it to touch the top until it's hardened and set. So go ahead and just stick it right in your refrigerator just like this. And just let it set for, I don't know, maybe an hour, 2 hours until firm. And then you can come back and cut it. So I'll come back on camera when I have this all firmed up and ready to go. But make sure before we start cutting it, I want you to go ahead and take it out of the refrigerator about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes beforehand and have it sitting out on your counter so that it's not super ice cold when we go to cut it, okay? So just remember that, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to cut it. Okay, so I've taken it out of the refrigerator. It's set overnight just because I didn't have time yesterday to cut it up. So you want to take it out of the refrigerator about 15 to 30 minutes before. Probably more like 30 because it's going to be super ice cold. And if you try to cut it while it's super, super duper ice cold, it's going to crack on you, the top. So anyhow, what you want to do is take a knife, and I'm just going to use this one, doesn't matter. And you want to go along the outer edge to loosen it from the sides. As you know, the nice caramel that it's got. Get it as good loose as you can get it. Shouldn't be that difficult, but because there's caramel involved, everything's extra sticky. So I'm going to try to loosen this up all the way around. Hopefully I got it good enough in the corners there. Okay. Come on now. Get with the program. Okay, so this is the part I'm not sure if it's gonna, if I got it good enough or not, but I think I may have. Let's give it a shot. If I didn't, I'll have to work with it a little bit more. Basically, you want to turn it over. I'm just gonna tap it. I'm gonna slam it again. Oh, it's not working for us. It's not working. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to, this time I'm going to really get it good on the edge and try to pull it away. I think where I'm having the issue is over here in this corner. It's not wanting to. There we go. I may have gotten it that time. Still not 100% sure. So I'm going to go off camera, release this, and then I'll flip it over. Able to pop it out once you loosen the edges. Right there. Looks a little messy, but just kind of plopped out. I was planning to have that on camera when I plopped it out, but it is what it is. Okay. So basically, I think anybody knows how to cut pieces, but I want you to do it like an inch. Just get you a nice big knife. And you kind of want to just saw it, not really saw it, just up and down so that you don't crack the top too much. There we go. And I started, and this could stand to sit for just a little bit because it started to crack right here on the top. But anyhow, I'm just going to flip this over. And you can see what yummy goodness we have going on in here. Here, I'll try to lift it up a little bit. Look at that. Caramel. Can hardly see the caramel, though, because of the peanuts. But believe me, they're in there. Trust me on that one. So then you just want to make them about an inch. About an inch squares, because they don't need to be overly huge. Because look how nice and thick they are. So you don't want them very big. About that size. Okay? So anyhow, this is the candy bar fudge. So I'm going to finish cutting all mine up. Make a nice little presentation. I'm not going to wrap them. I'm just going to put them in a nice little container with wax paper in between the layers. And yeah, so this is the candy bar fudge that I make every year. Tastes just like Snickers, but I won't use the name. And hope you enjoyed it. Hope you decide you'll make some, especially if you're a Snicker bar fan. Okay, well, until next time, you can give me a follow on Instagram as Artisan Loom. I also have a YouTube channel, obviously. That's what you're watching me on. If you could subscribe to me, that would be super wonderful. And yeah, also, if you're interested in Rainbow Loom, my Instagram name on Rainbow Loom is Artisan Loom. So anyhow, take care now and Merry Christmas.